Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Chrono Trigger. Last time, we continued our journey all the way up through antiquity, and after getting exiled from the coolest damn land that this planet has ever known, we went to the Arena of Ages to blow off some steam, where we adopted a little smidge. As everyone should do at some point in their life to learn responsibility. And then we made it fight other smidges to the death. Learned about all sorts of things that you can get from there, and went over the mode in its entirety. This time, our next location is Earthbound Isle, 12,000 BC, so that we can re-enter the floating kingdom of Zeal and make it into the Ocean Palace. Against the... we don't say his name. That is the counter triple tech that they do. As you can imagine, it hurts more when you're actually the same level as him. I also mentioned that speedrunners take out the Mud Imp first. One of the ways that this is done is Flame Kick. This is just a very low MP, very good damage, fast animation kind of attack that speedrunners rely on a lot. Just kind of goes to show how good Luca and Ayla are working together. You can see they're very simple 500 damage. And there it is. Beat the Mud Imp. The others fall automatically. On the Mountain of Woe, fight the Rubbles. 1,000 experience points is still great, even in the post-game. Oh, 35-37 from a crit from Robo! I just picked up a barrier sphere, and on one note, if you look at the official artwork, it confirms in canon that they were indeed made by Capsule Corp. Second off, in the prototype version of Chrono Trigger, the barrier sphere and shield sphere were called the magical handkerchief and the protein. Yes, they are the same item. Okay, so you remember how the Giga Gaia turned out to be Melchior in the end, and you know he just got transformed with magic, and after you beat him, he returns to normal? Well, a lot of the time in game development, graphics have to be stored off-screen for a cutscene to happen later just so it's already present in RAM and doesn't cause problems later. The way that they did it for the Giga Gaia is if you remove the foreground layer, his feet are sticking out of the bottom of the Giga Gaia like it's a giant Halloween costume. Oh, I missed you, moist and chewy cake. Wanna lick the ground. Enjoy the frosting. I was pleasantly surprised to hear that a lot of people share my opinion about Dalton, how he's just kind of the only character that's not that great, and it kind of sucks how he outsmarts really intelligent characters who otherwise don't fall for anything, when he's not even that clever or great or any of that stuff, and he's just kind of annoying and takes up a lot of time. Plus his boss fight's really anticlimactic, as you saw there. I was kind of worried that people wouldn't like that, because I knew a guy in, like, late high school, early college, who was gaga for Dalton. Like, it was his favorite character ever. And I never said it around him that I didn't agree with him, and I thought that he was a popular character all that time, but I've been kind of pleasantly surprised that a lot of people did share my opinions on the parts that I actually didn't care for. I had some people saying that the Reptite lair was a lot worse than they remembered it being, where they didn't remember much about it, but then when they saw me play it, they were like, oh, wow, that's actually kind of terrible. So, yeah, it's been kind of comforting to see that other people share my not-so-great opinions about the few things I don't like. You know what I can do in the Ocean Palace? Get noticed by enemies. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Go into the bottom left, go across this room, open the chest I missed to get the shockwave for Luca. This weapon is purchasable in the near future. It just left a sour taste in my mouth that after I was trying so hard to get every item in the Ocean Palace, of course there's always that one that slips by me. At the end of the Ocean Palace, the fifth method for challenging Lavos. Kind of. This is treated the same as challenging him from the bucket. He has 30,000 HP, far more than at any other point. And destruction rains from the heavens. Again, just saying it for the sake of a refresher, hits through any kind of auto-revive, so that's not worth doing. This fight is almost an assured loss in a base playthrough. I've never seen or heard of anybody winning this. I'm sure someone out there has done it by grinding enough or having a really broken setup, but they do a lot to make sure, yeah, you're not gonna win that on your first try. He still hits pretty hard even now, hitting for a few hundred damage even at R levels. This is the hardest actual Lavos fight, and if you were to win it, Then the events continue as normal. There's no harder Lavos core fight inside, but this will allow you to put an end to all this in the Ocean Palace all the same. No save point or gate to get out, though. Has to be done in one continuous run. Of course, due to Lavos' defeat ending the timeline, it's not possible to play past this point without losing Chrono. And on that note, the original plan the writers had come up with was for Chrono to die in the Ocean Palace for good. Masato Kato, the story planner, conducted an interview that was translated by Cal Hampton for Chrono Compendium, in which he says that they were throwing around ideas at a routine weekly meeting. An unnamed developer jokingly said, "So when are we killing off the main character?" The room erupted into laughter, but some of the team latched onto the idea. The original plan that they were going to run with was Chrono would be lost, and shortly before challenging Lavos, the party would go back in time to just before the day of the Millennial Fair, bring that Chrono with them in a desperation move in order to beat Lavos, and after the day was won so the timeline would be complete, they would have to return him to his own time, bidding him a happy farewell, trying not to let on that they knew in just a few short weeks he was going to die in the Ocean Palace following the natural path. It was rejected because it would be a very sad canon ending, but I personally find it very fascinating to kind of think of what might have been, because that's some dark stuff and a lot different from what we ended up getting. The idea being that Chrono would be the great hero that saved the world, but would never live to see any recognition or get a happy ending from it. Only his friends would. Waiting in this moment, allowing it to suck everyone in, doesn't do anything. Things will just automatically play out as soon as you get close to Lavos, no matter how much time is waited. We heard in the ending that Magus was going back to 12,000 BC to look for Schala. I want you to remember that before anyone would escape, this is when Janus and the three gurus were transported away by Lavos. He was not aware of what happened to Schala, and because Magus traveled through time and is now here with us, Schala had to use the last of her power to transport us away from the Ocean Palace, which is something she wouldn't have had to do had we not all gone back in time. It's possible that in the original timeline, because we weren't here, she might have escaped safely because she didn't need to use the last of her power to do that. And it's Magus' fault that this happened. It was a case of him getting the answer to something he wanted to know for his entire life, and only making it worse by finding out. It's something that can't really be appreciated without knowing the full story. This is the first time that we're able to enter the dimensional vortex. This requires beating Lavos at the Black Omen in the DS version onward only in order to be able to access. This is going to be the very last thing that we do. It's just become accessible to us right now, so I thought I would show that to you. This particular magic capsule gives people a lot of trouble. I see a lot of people asking, hey, how can I move for you and not for me? Or what do I have to do to get him to move? New generally moves within a few seconds of entering. The game uses a random number generator to decide if New is going to move on this visit to the hut or not. What I would suggest doing is going in, waiting about 15 seconds, don't talk to anyone. I'm not sure if talking to the New and opening the store resets it, but I would have reason to believe that it does based on just how the game loads things. And if he doesn't move within those 15 seconds or so, leave and come back. Oh, I missed hearing this song. Unfortunately, I have to give it up for seeing Dalton now. But it's okay. We're gonna leave Ayla in the party to demonstrate that thing that I had said to do all that time ago. Oh, whoa! She did like a triple front flip out of the way of that fireball. You know, actually, Ayla solves a lot of problems in this area. You start with your weapons, you can punch the enemies right away, and, you know, suddenly the party falling for this trap makes sense if Ayla's the leader. Look at her being such a brute that she just punches through the biggest problems with the game. Ah, I love her so much. All I'm gonna do is pretend to be sick. And now have the knowledge that frogs don't have belly buttons, so I get to be in on the joke from the beginning and not left out like I so commonly was in the past. We can I almost said nilly-willy run into enemies all we want, kill them with one regular attack, and yeah. Ayla, you deserve to be the only one celebrating. With this, there's no real reason to try. You just wander into every room, you got 16 speed, and yeah, nothing else to it. Ayla would easily be able to handle these foes on her own. She's got self-healing, so just the fact that her fist is not cut off, even though they seemingly had no trouble removing Robo's arm, it's really, really easy. Makes the Blackbird so much more bearable. No crawling around in the air ducts, none of that. All that matters is that you get back your items, you get back your equipment, and then you go to the wing. Make sure you get the money too, though, because who wants to lose that? Even on a first playthrough, Ayla can easily handle these guys. They are so laughably weak. They have, like, I think about around 200 HP or so. Even Marl was able to fell them in one regular attack all that time ago. Wait, what? Oh my god, I hit it on the conveyor belt and we're fighting something that's off screen. Just to be friendly to this playstyle, if you're walking around in the lower levels, there is one room that cannot be accessed by running around and just punching all the robots and makes you go into the air ducts. You can see it on the map right now. Go down this ladder. There's Ayla's equipment. Turrets are also extremely worth fighting. 1,500 experience. Ayla got a level up from the first one. I realized something very subtle. The wind blows more strongly toward the wing to push you toward the trigger of this cutscene. That's a very subtle way of guiding the player. I've already shown you everything that changes if Magus is killed. There's not any unique timelines to it. He doesn't have that much bearing in the endings. His parts of it are just skipped over because he's not there. You get the extra amulet, you get a little bit more closure with Frog, and Frog gets turned back into a human during the endings, which actually happens in the FMV version of the 100% ending anyway, so it's not something that you entirely miss out on in this version. It's just kind of added satisfaction to see it happen. Due to it not affecting much, I see no reason to kill him off, and I'm going to enjoy having him again. Since the final member is joined, I want to talk about the party members themselves and how they change during development. We have Magus himself originally wearing a skull helmet, as well as just being Piccolo. The role of Ayla was originally going to be played by Android 18. One of the auditions for the role of Marl was Bulma herself. Robo was very creepy, and I'm happy that they changed him to look more human-like, because I've always thought of him as a low-key human, and this just doesn't say Robo to me. Frog didn't change much from his original sketch, but you can see in the FMV cutscene that he is actually just green Vegeta. Luca, I've already mentioned, is based on one of Akira Toriyama's other characters from Dr. Slump, and our protagonist was always Goku. I suppose I can share a story that I haven't mentioned in a video because of this part of the game. It's kind of turning into a DVD commentary of a Let's Play now, isn't it? This cutscene, I don't know what it was, but this triggered a copyright claim that caused a video to be delayed for about a week due to something that wasn't my fault. This audio was sampled by a rapper who used it on one of their albums, so the video got claimed by a rapper and I had to wait for the copyright dispute to work itself out. There's a trouble I never imagined I'd have when I started making videos, having to dispute legally with a rapper over whether or not they owned Chrono Trigger. Those green portals spell more doom for you than this thing ever did. I'm gonna wait till I have Chrono back before we go take care of that. Instead, I want to go to the 680 Middle Ages. Just so you're not confused with all the other 680 Middle Ages, it's the one. The Manolia Cathedral. While Chrono is dead, there's something here that is not here any other time. In this world, there are no rains that fail to lift, no nights that are not dispelled by dawn. What's important is to trust in those you love and to never abandon hope. The person you cherish is no doubt watching over you from some distant place. I never thought to go to the only church in the world to, you know, pray when somebody has left us. It never really crossed my mind to do. And I think it's a very caring thing to do for people that would think to do this in a time like that. The winged epic is relevant to some new details. For instance, I want to talk about how there's names of locations stored in each map. For instance, if I walk up to Truce Inn and I'm touching the entrance, it says Truce Inn above my head. In the map for 1999 AD, the word exoskeleton is stored in the same place that location names typically are. This leads people to believe that perhaps maybe at one point you could walk around the overworld to 1999 AD after Lavos had been stopped from erupting, and this would have been the name given to the outer shell of Lavos that you climb inside of. Second, I've mentioned that the epic being absent from an ending does not create any new timelines, but they find other ways to travel through time. Well, a lot of people wanted more details, and I agree I didn't do a very good job of explaining it because that is a detail that would be very cool to know. So, how exactly do they go about traveling through time when they don't have a time machine and the gates have closed for good? Balloons! A video containing all the differences between the 100% ending that I got is the alternate timeline for this video. Oh, man. If you've not already won a Doppeldoll from the Millennial Fair, Nordstein Beckler will just allow you to get it for 40 silver points. I'll give you the doll even if you lose the game, but it'll cost you. The longer you stay in the game, the lower my price will be. We're gonna get to see Magus play carnival games! As somebody who likes admittedly annoying people that are too serious and being insufferably upbeat around them, oh man. This is so cathartic. He looks pissed off when he's supposed to be surprised. I bet that's how he looked at his employees back at the keep. Ah, damn it! I thought I was gonna do it in one try again. I'll take 2,000 G. I'll send this Doppeldoll to Chrono's house. Oh, hello. Is Chrono alright? Chrono's status is exceptional. Chrono, okay. Well, I hope he's not causing you too much trouble. You tell him I said to behave himself, alright? Chrono doll, Elaboro! Go right ahead, dear. Okay, so Magus does not actually speak in this cutscene. I would have loved to have seen the frying pans go a-flying when she walked up and was like, "Your son is dead. It is of no consequence to me." At walking speed, Magus's hair is a beautiful work of art. It is possible to kill the butt of the Lavos spawn, just don't. Screw you, Lavos, I'm using your children as a ladder! Okay, so maybe the Chrono Trigger itself doesn't look as lame and underwhelming as I made it out to be. That's how it looks before the effort has been put into it to activate it. Once it's awakened at the summit of Death Peak, here's what it looks like. Sir Chrono, welcome back. Chrono back? Chrono okay? We have all been waiting for you. Marl and Luca and, well, all of us. I could have gone for some robo-hug. Oh, you're back, you're back, you're back, you're back. Wait, I'm Magus. I hate you. There. Okay, with Chrono back, that leaves us with nothing to do but the side quests as well as the new DS content. Next time on Chrono Trigger. Oh, I'm going to hate myself. I'll leave it at that. See you guys then.